What's going on? What's going on, everybody? What's up, good people? What's going on? What's going on? Happy Wednesday. Corny Adventures. Hello, sir. What's up, man? Hope everyone's doing well this afternoon, man. Welcome to another episode of Study Breaks. We're going to be having my guy, Uncle Mike from B Sky, from DM. One of the creative directors at Alumni in New York. Josh, what's good, bro? How you feeling over there, man? Nana, what's cracking, bro? Mike, what up, G? Crystal, what up? What up? Yeah, pushing forward indeed. Pushing forward indeed. Mike, what up, bro?
What's happening, bro?
Chillin', man. You got in the crib?
Nah. I'm stuck in the shop, bro. I'm stuck in the shop.
That's
It's
what's
all
up,
good.
man.
I mean, this is where I'm at, 12 o'clock every day, so I gotta just keep it a buck. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You know,
Okay.
so but yeah, I'm just, you know the vibes already. You know what I'm saying? My wife Nicole and I, we here. We about to build this restaurant, this space in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Aunts and
That's
uncles.
that's what's up, man. That's part of what the reason why I wanted to get you on here, man. There's a lot. Obviously, man, like there's a lot that's going on right now. Um, you know, you there's a lot going on in New York, specifically as well.
Word.
And we've had a relationship going back a couple of years now. I mean, we have personal ties with people that go back last 10 years, and like you grew up with Ian, Nana, and Gavin, all them, man. So, man, like it's a pleasure to be able to sit here and talk with you, man. Just to kind of level set for everyone that's here right now. Study breaks is something that we do at Honor Roll Clothing, just as an opportunity for us to be able to connect with people who we've developed relationships and friendships within the industry, and people who just are straight up friends and family. This is one of the guys who kind of falls in the friends and family category for sure. You know what I mean?
Appreciate
So
that, man.
absolutely, man, absolutely. And if you guys don't know who Uncle Mike is, and I'll allow him to kind of run a little bit more detail on his resume, but I was introduced on by my boy Ian um, as the guy who created this brand called Brooklyn Sky, opened up actual shop out in Flatbush. And that's a big deal to grow up in the neighborhood and be able to start a business, in your neighborhood, and that joint thrive. And then from there, that kind of then catapulted into DM, right? Does it even matter? And I definitely want you to kind of align, speak a little bit more about like what that actually means. You've done some pretty amazing projects over the years. I mean, you grew that into being an extremely profitable business. Then from there, I know you do some work with designing and development product for alumni in New York.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And then we also got Auntie and Uncles. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Aunts and uncles
I'm
on the
so
way.
excited about that joint. Like, I'm looking forward to coming back up to New York. Yeah, I mean, once everything gets laid out. But man, I just want to before we dive in, I want to go ahead and give you an opportunity to just kind of let the people know who you are, and maybe elaborate on some of those that highlight reel I just spoke on.
All right, no doubt. What's up, everybody? Peace. I see you, Gavin. I see Nana, Punky. What up, everybody? Direct. I appreciate you reaching out, Blair. And I mean, we talk on the regular, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
already know the vibes. But I appreciate you bringing me out on study breaks. And I'm just Mike Nicholas, one half of Aunts and Uncles. The other half is my wife Nicole, and everybody knows me as Mike or Brooklyn Sky, owner of Brooklyn Sky, DM, things of that nature, design extraordinaire. Slow bucks too. You know what I'm
You did
saying?
work with Slowbucks?
Yeah, bro. I helped
Oh,
start. I
dang
helped
it!
start that brand for sure.
Really?
Yeah, that was like a good. That was a good run. You know what I'm saying? That put me in a position in life that I'm always grateful for with those fellas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I learned a lot, and it's like a microwave. That was a microwave experience because like although I have Brooklyn Sky, and that's how I knew, that's how I met them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that experience, part of the story, I got to introduce like my partner Matthew, one of my best friends, and like that's my brother. So, but like I think we learned so much more with that experience than anything we've done the years prior. Because it was like I said, it was like a microwave
Yeah.
situation. Like the shit went from 0 to like 300 miles an hour, like really fast. So
Yeah.
everything that we thought we knew, we had to kind of like put it in place and also adapt to something we never in a realm that we never, encounter and
Yeah.
still make sense for everybody. So that was a cool thing.
And that was specifically with the slow buck situation, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Did you design the law? Did you design the snail joint, or like what was your
nah, I'm not
involvement with
taking
that?
credit for that. No, I'm not taking credit for that. What we did after, like once they had the snail, like they brought me on to pretty much do the website. Like, we were supposed to be building. I don't know if you remember exactly what Slowbucks is. It was actually like a contest. You know what I'm saying? Like a hip hop contest where it's like a leaderboard situation where you would, like if you're an artist, you would sign up. You would pay $100 to get into this like kind of like raffle in a sense,
Yeah.
and you would have your friends and your family all vote for you, and all your fans vote for you, and whoever wins, they get $100,000 cash, and they also get a label meeting. You know what I mean, with one of the majors like Sony, Def Jam, things of that nature. So, like my job was to just build the front end of the website, and
Yeah.
then from then on, that framed into like, yo, while we were waiting for the back end development, I was like, yo, let's utilize some of the product placement that you guys have, and let's start selling membership and start selling some of this, make some of this into some merchandise. And they were like, I don't know, and I'm like, yo, let's do it, and then we actually did it, and then the rest is history. You know what I'm saying?
So the business framework of taking it from a contest to actually product, like that was you.
Correct. You know what I'm
So
saying? Because I
okay.
just felt like because we had like 4 months in back end development,
Hmm.
and it was actually done out there in Atlanta. It was like 4 months of back end development. I'm like, there was nothing else happening. You know what I'm saying? Like you got like they had like Jada Kiss already wearing, one of ones. They already had like Jewels and Jim Jones. All these
Yeah, I
cats
remember
wearing one of
seeing niggas
ones.
like walk around with the bedazzled joints and with
Yeah,
all the
because
rhinestones
that
in
was
it.
like before the full color snail that you ever seen. So like when you see that full color snail, and like we had after that full color snail, we had like 4, 5, 6 versions of that, and we created this whole like quick strike program. We call it like quick bucks. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like to go with whether sneaker releases and things of that nature. So yeah, that was a whole situation within itself.
Yo, so again, I'm asking now just because being a fan of the culture, like this clearly wasn't the stuff that we said we was going to talk about. We're going to get to that in
Word.
a moment. But like, what was Slow Bucks one of those brands that like the intent was like, yo, this is a money grab almost. Let's try, because we have so many connections in the industry. Let's dial this up as much as we can. And then but the intent was never for it to be like a long term sustainable, brand.
Well, nah, like with Soup, he always had the vision of because like the main company that he created was called ViralWare, so he went with the intent that this was gonna be everywhere. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And the plans that he had after that, it was all long term. It wasn't just like a quick money grab, like yo, here for now, like because it took 2, 3 years for people to really kind of like grab
Catch
onto
on
it.
to what it was.
Yeah, exactly. And niggas ain't really get a money grab until like later on. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Nah,
Yeah.
it was always a longer play for them. You know what I'm saying? He knew it was a long play. It wasn't like no Geno Green, nothing like that.
Okay, got you. Because I'm glad you brought up Geno Green because I know like there's some brands that get developed and the intent of it is to yeah, like this is supposed to have like a 5-year lifespan, right? Like this
Nah,
is
nah.
supposed to be like a long term brand, but that
So
wasn't the case with Slow.
Yeah, nah, because it was still building. There was still so much growth and still so much room for it to grow.
Yeah,
Like there was more money being made. The more money was made in the last probably like 9 to 12 months than it was made in the first 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So
gotcha.
there was the potential was still there was so much more potential. There was so like
So
now.
what happened? What happened? Like, why did that joint go away?
I mean, the whole situation with like Summer Jam and everything like that happened, and that kind of like changed the course of you know the interest in the brand and things of that nature. Um, the whole internet was slow, and 50 Cent and Summer Jam that changed
Gotcha.
the whole dynamic of it. But I mean, that's like the risk you take when you have like one person kind of carrying the brand on their shoulders in a sense.
Yeah.
That's why like for DM like Phil and myself, and we never made one person. Like we had interest from Jeezy. Jeezy wanted to be the guy. Like Meek wanted to be the guy, and we didn't choose to go with one person to say, yo, this is the true brand ambassador. You are our partner, and you're gonna run with it.
Because the minute the interest leaves from that particular person, after
Yeah,
that,
like I studied this hip hop shit for too long to know that everybody's like too fickle. You know what I'm saying? The customer
yeah,
is really fickle. Like you could say the wrong thing, they won't rock with you no more. You know what I'm saying? They forget about all the work you did 10 years prior. So
yeah,
I rather it just be about the product and the people that made it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Leave it at that. Simple.
that's what's up. So what does what does DM mean, and what does it represent?
DM is an acronym for Does It Even Matter? Um, the Does It Even Matter is basically just an idea, a statement, and an answer, like Iverson. You know what I'm saying? But the it is all, you know what I'm saying, in context of you. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
define the it. Like sort of like your own purpose and your why. Like you define your why, so you define your it. You know what I mean? So you define what matters to you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to ask yourself in certain situations, like, does it even matter? Am I gonna let this thing take me to a bad place, or am I gonna let me take it to a good place? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like you define the it. Because a lot of times we trip over things we don't have any control over, and we got to be like, yo, we got to remind ourselves, like, yo, damn, this shit don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like in the grand
yeah.
scheme of things, I can't even trip over this because I got so much a long way to go. You know what I mean? So it's just like a blip.
Yo, so like in light of that, right? Like, and I'm gonna come back to aunties and uncles and it, like a little bit towards the end, but like that point of like that it, like does it, whatever that it is, does that matter? Man, like there's a lot going on right now. I know me and you have had a few conversations about just like the context, that we're all living in. How are you? And there's a lot going on in New York. I mean, y'all got hit crazy with the COVID situation,
Correct.
and then on top of that, it seems as if like New York, LA, as well as Minneapolis are like the places that are like the and Washington now with them trying to get going through the whole situation with Trump is like the epicenter of everything that's going on. So like, how are you doing? How are you doing in Brooklyn right now?
Like I said, like for me, like I keep my days really limited. Like I wake up in the morning, walk the
Mm-hmm.
dog, and I come in here, work on this spot. After after I'm done here, I go home, make dinner, eat, and I chill. Like it's really I just my days are really confined to being in this space, in this world, that we're about to create, and it really just helps us to stay focused on the prize. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And I mean, I understand what's happening outside of here as far as the protests is concerned and the injustices that have been happening. I mean, like we haven't been joining the protests. We've been more like having the conversations of what happened after the protests. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And like focusing our efforts and our time on that. You know what I mean? Because it's like the protest could only go but for so long. I mean, even if they went for 3 years, okay, cool. What happens after the third year? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, what do we do? What are those actionable steps? So I found like my family and some of my close circle, we've been having these conversations where it's like, okay, what are the actual problems that we're facing?
yeah,
What are the solutions, and what are the actionable steps, and what can we do within our arm's reach to help achieve those actionable steps as individuals and as a collective?
yeah, man. So like that's actually been the exact same time me and my guys have been on. So like for me yesterday, I went out to the to one of the protests, the main one that was downtown, and man, like the feeling that I got, and I know people have different opinions and positions on protesting and the value of it and the effectiveness of it, but for me, man, like it was there's this verse in the gospels where Jesus looks out on the crowd and like he's brokenhearted. He's like, I see like a flock of sheep without a shepherd, you know, and that's pretty much the sentiment that I felt when I was out there. It's like you have all these on it like college kids, young adults for the most part, and it's whoever has the loudest voice is what people are paying attention to in the moment, and like there's no real direction that's going on now. The optics of it I think really help because I mean it's shutting down businesses, it's shutting down the money flow of cities, and when that happens, unfortunately it sucks that it takes all that for people to start garnering some attention, but
You
it's
gotta
like when
shake shit up. You gotta shake
yeah,
shit up.
it's like yo, like we have something to say, but then the problem is becoming in. There isn't when you take a look back at the civil rights movement, like there were very specific entities that if they weren't leading the marches, like they were very specific in inserting themselves in those spaces and speaking to the people, and then also speaking to the authorities that are at power, right? And so I that was something that was just missing, and for me, it's the it part that you were talking about. Does it even matter? It's like yo, like something needs to shift with that. You know what I'm saying? Like something needs to be there needs to be some, and I'm not talking about one specific voice, but a collective of voices that are very clear in being in these spaces and saying like yo, like this is why we're here. This is what it is that we want. No, we're not sitting over here trying to burn stuff down. We're not here for the looting, but we need to make sure that our voices are being heard, and we're not leaving it until et cetera, et cetera. We're gonna be here every day until whatever that list ends up getting accomplished. And yeah, those actionable items just aren't clear. You see stuff kind of floating around social media, but there isn't anything that's hard, that's drawn out, or at least not as organized, like I said, like as some of our forefathers have done.
Yeah, I mean it's a little hard because it's like it's hard for individuals to take those responsibilities, knowing what the result is going to be, right? It's a
Yeah,
little like, and even for a group as well too, because you have like if an individual looks at it, it's like okay, cool. This is like the role that Malcolm or Martin played, right? As an
yeah,
individual, but then as a collective, you have the role that the Black Panther Party played, right? So
yeah,
then it's like okay, none of those exist anymore. So now it's like okay, what now? What do we do? So now it's just now I feel it's a matter of how do we like organize and strategize in a way where it's like not to say non-threatening, but as long as we have to find a way to be effective and collective at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because I see what you're saying. Basically, the process that was happening out there in the A, it's like you had the people, but they didn't have the direction. They didn't have like
yeah,
the organization that was needed to help get it to where it needs to go. And I mean, that just shows you that people are just out there out of frustration. They're just like, yo,
yeah,
out of rage. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of buildup. I mean, it's a lot of buildup of, just not like, not getting any results and, prior convictions and things of that nature of the same cases happening over and over and over and over again. You got people that were boiled up because they were in their house quarantined thinking that coronavirus is,
because
got
ain't getting no
something
money,
inside
ain't
of
no
it.
money coming in.
It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's so many variables and so many opportunists, and so many different layers to this whole thing to where we are right now, why we even got to the situation that we in. And it's
Yeah,
just like the top has blown over of the pressure cooker. You feel me? So
yeah, yeah, man. That part that you were just talking about, as far as like you had SNCC, you had things going on specifically in the South. You had the Black Panther movement. You had Nation of Islam. Like you had all these different fractions that ultimately all had the same underlying goal, but their approach of accomplishing it was different, which is completely fine. And like and to your point, none of those spaces really, like none of those organizations really exist anymore, aren't as prevalent. And as like literally as you were talking, it's like, man, like that's like the type of resurgence that needs to happen. Not necessarily those old organizations, but what is a new fresh breath of that. You know, I think that Black Lives Matter, the organization itself, like is a reflection of that, and I think that there still need to be more that needs to be developed. Like people feeling that burden to say, like, yo, we need to create this, and I want to be clear too. I know that there are other organizations out there, so I'm not trying to speak as if like no one is doing anything, and this is like an epiphany that I just came to, but there needs to that like they're either mobilizing those organizations that have already been developed needs to happen, or there needs to be something new that's created.
Yeah, I mean, the next movement that's going to be created is going to be through the people, powered by the people, connected through the people, mostly by the internet of some sort. You know what I'm saying? And maybe even like call it the dark web or whatever. But there's going to be a way for us to connect and mobilize in a way where it's not like always publicized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's effective in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's on the same page at the same time, because that's what needs to happen. It's like, from what you're saying, it's like there's folks that's out there trying to do the thing, speak out and raise awareness, but then there's other people that are not on that same type of time, and because they're it's all being disillusioned by diffused by like the looters and everything like that. So you have the looters trying to drown out that voice is drowning out the effectiveness of the protesting, you know what I'm saying, and the position that was even put in place to even do it. So it's just a little tricky, bro. Just about finding that little sweet spot that we can exist in and move forward. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, man. I want to switch the conversation a little bit. So, like, one of the things that I think aligns both Honor Roll and the all the entities that you represent, man, that you have your hands in, is like this notion of the underdog. Even as the stuff that we're talking about right now, like there's the reality that, like we have been, our existence here is the underdog experience. Not like being behind the eight ball, like being disenfranchised, not having the same opportunities as some of our other peers, but yet still making, man, like amazing lives and creating amazing experiences and companies and families, like out of dirt, like literally straight from the curb.
Yeah.
And man, like that's what, again, like I remember when Ian, came down to Atlanta and he brought the whole click dough sick tea from B Scott.
Yeah.
And it was like, now, like y'all was just getting busy and moving, and it didn't matter what you knew, what expertise you had. It's like, now, like this is the mission, and we're gonna figure it out. And so, like, man, I just would like to hear from you, like what if you could summarize like your underdog experience, at any particular point, of your career, or even if there's like a general overarching, experience or thought that you have, man, I would love to hear that from you.
Sure. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've always been one to root for the underdog, because I feel like we've always been the underdog, and I'm still in the underdog position in the grand scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we'll talk about the aunts and uncles situation, because we'll have to talk about, what I'm saying, like tapping into, financing and things of that nature.
Yeah.
That's like being disenfranchised and us not having the resources that are readily available like other communities. It's hard, you know what I'm saying? So you're already starting playing defense. So it's like it's hard for us to have to carry the burden of just waking up being black in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that already has its own weight, and you got to kind of like analyze, overanalyze, and over navigate, and how to get around and how to get things done, right? Just being a black person, just period, just waking up here. And then it's like, all right, oh, you got ambition. Oh, you want to do something. Now it's like, okay, cool. You got to do this now. But mind you, like everybody else had a head start, and we still always find a way to win the race. You know what I'm saying? Even though cats had a head start, we still perform very well. But it will feel a lot better that we could all start at the same position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just my take. But as far as like navigating through all of the the projects that I've, put myself out or put out, it is a little hard because like even with Brooklyn Sky, like being like a black streetwear brand and shop in that space where it's like you had cats like, at that time it was like a retail mafia, really named Retail Mafia. So you had like
Yeah.
A-Life, a New York thing, and Stussy and all these guys, they all clicked up, and they
This
pretty much
is the
had,
pre-Kip days, right?
yeah, totally. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is pre-kids, so it's like you got these cats that's kind of like locking down the whole New York, LA kind of like streetwear scene. And then when like the wholesale markets open up, when you had the big shows like the Magic and things and Agenda, a lot of those retailers were like, or brands didn't participate in that in order to separate themselves from
Yeah.
that vibe and to keep that whole clique tight. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
then after a while, that kind of like dismantled, and the new regime came in. So right now, this is probably like fifth generation streetwear. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it's hard for us. It was hard for us for actually being in the streets, representing what the streets really wore and
Yeah. Yeah.
the essence of the streets. You know what I mean? And you got these cats that's like from the burbs, living in the suburbs, and like just soaking up anything that
Appropriating the culture.
100%. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot. It was very frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like there'll be times where like we'll be in LA. You know what I'm saying? At like the Hundreds barbecue, and be like, this can't be it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everybody's
Yeah,
going
man.
crazy over these cats. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got this whole thing going on Notion Avenue that's touching people, and it's just different. And it's just like it's fucked up because like out there in LA, you could have like it was like 6 or 18 white and Asian kids skating in front of their store, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We have like 4 or 5 black kids here, and it's like, yo, we're a problem, we're an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just it's nasty. You know what I'm saying? In our own community, like it's nasty work.
Yo, I want to like that. There's a lot of segments that you just spoke on. I think both financing, these businesses, and then even once you are able to kind of figure out what the money's going to look like, even just like the inner workings of those communities, right? So, like you said, like you can start a brand, you can get it going, but then what does that look like for having proper representation? What does that look like by being embraced and given opportunities by other retailers? Like, what is it like? There's so many aspects to that, right? So, like, I want to start in the financing part for you. Like, how did going back to Brooklyn Sky and then you guys having the shop? How did you finance that? Like, and if you can't talk about all of it, I get it.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Straight up talk about it.
I never asked you that, so I wasn't sure.
No. I mean, it was cool because like it was basically leveraging in the beginning. It was leveraging credit. You know what I'm saying? Like in the very, very, very beginning, leveraging credit, like opening like a line of credit with like American Apparel to be able to get blanks, and then knowing like cats had like the gift of gab to like sell, and a lot of things with the wholesale part of the game before we got into the retail. You do pre-booking, so all I had to do was just design everything on a CAD and make it look really nice, present it, make some samples, and then I'll get pre-orders, and I'll have to use that paper to bring back to the manufacturer to say like, hey, look, these are the promised orders. Here's a deposit, and just know like when we get paid, you get paid kind of vibe. Usually it works out, and sometimes it doesn't, because sometimes a lot of people like didn't, or they canceled on their orders, or they didn't live up to their word. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, I mean,
Ain't nothing worse about not getting a phone call back for a PO that you had out.
yeah, and then like there was I'm not gonna lie, there was some times where like we probably got in over our heads, just like, all right, cool, we got orders for like $70,000, you know what I'm saying? But we only have like $18,000, $22,000. So it's like freaking putting shit on credit cards and, you know what I'm saying, borrowing money from friends and family to try to make it all happen. And that's just
How
the
big was
reality.
that having that support system of family and friends to kind of help float you through those certain periods?
Bruh. I mean, I could.
I already know. I already know.
Like I could tell you one hand off the rip, I couldn't do anything without my friends and family. You know what I'm saying? So, and whether it be like all types of support, you know what I'm saying? So, That's very important, and it's very important within our community to keep that going. Like they said, it takes a village, right? So it's like it starts from the home, and then your extended home. So if you don't have that, it's very hard to kind of navigate, because then you ended up kind of putting yourself in these weird positions in circles that aren't yours. You know what I'm saying? And you
Yeah,
kind of
you
like
start getting taken advantage of.
correct. So it's good to have people that believe in you and will put things on the line for you. You know what I'm saying? Because they know that you would do what you have to do, you know what I mean, to make it
Yeah.
happen.
How was that? So that's the financing aspect of it. Like I said, like leveraging credit, which then means that you actually have to have good credit. And
Yeah,
prayerfully,
I mean, yeah,
like
you gotta
your
be
parents didn't
smart.
screw that joint up when you was 3 years old, putting the couch set in your name or something.
Nah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, even with my situation, it wasn't perfect, because I got taken advantage of first going to college. They sent me Discover sent me cards, and all these people sent me cards, and this is like, all right, you don't have no job, you go away from home. It's like, oh shit! In order for you to get Papa John's, you kind of got to run the card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're like, oh shit, that's $900 in. You know what I mean? But there's ways to, like, you still got to just hold it down. Like I was hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like my
Yeah.
family will tell you I'm hustling my whole life. Like I'll figure out ways, whether I'm designing my ass off, like freelancing or whatever, figuring it out. You know what I mean? But like access to capital is probably one of our biggest disadvantages as a people. You know what I mean? As far as like trying to do business, you know what I mean? Like it's hard trying to see the vision that you have in your mind and knowing how it can impact the community and
Mm-hmm.
want to bring it to life, but not being able to because you just don't have enough to do so. You know what I mean? Like,
So did that like it had? And now I'm kind of jumping out to aunties and uncles. Like, has that changed for you any? Have you been able
um,
to to be in a better position, or after years of being in business? I mean, because you're building out a restaurant, like that ain't nothing. That's nothing easy to do.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it's been a challenge. I mean, we tried to be creative as possible with financing this project. I mean, you follow me,
Yeah,
so you know that we did the whole, like,
crowdfunding.
Indiegogo, crowdfunding to the, we know, I mean, we knew going into it that was going to be a challenge. We weren't going to reach our goal, you know what I mean? But we knew that at least it'll start some traction, bring some awareness, and we could bring some we'll get something from it. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be a total wash. Um, I mean, we've done everything from savings to loans, anything you can think of. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But we made it happen, and like, again, we're still hustling. Luckily for us, we were able to leverage other projects that we already had in play, and you know what I mean, work on that. But and trying to keep our credit intact at the same time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
like though.
staying over the 700 is just, you got to no matter what, you got to stay there, or else you out the race. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. Like, and I think it helps too for you guys that like the food I know is gonna be smacking. Like I remember the first time we met when Gab brought me over there,
Word.
and like Nick didn't even know me. She was like, "Yo, y'all hungry? You hungry?" No, and I sit down like 20 minutes. Like you get a full platter, like 3 courses coming out. I'm like,
Oh
yo,
yeah, that's how we give it up. You know.
like so, like what's been the inspiration behind aunties and uncles?
The inspiration between aunts and uncles is just that same feeling that you spoke about. You coming into our space, not even my wife not even knowing you, auntie don't even know you, but you're already a
You
nephew.
got a
You know
plate.
what I'm saying?
The fact that you came to the crib, that's it.
You
That's
got a
enough.
plate, and you got, like, and in that, and like Joshua said, food is culture. You know what I mean? Like, that's the icebreaker. You go to the family barbecue, like, you don't know all this extended family, but here y'all talk it out over this. You know what I mean? Just plate of food. Y'all figure out who y'all are,
Bro, we
and
had a 6 hour conversation.
easily,
Gab
easily.
fell asleep twice. Gab fell asleep twice in the
He
midst of us
definitely did.
having that 6 hour conversation. First day meeting.
Nah, but that's just how it is, and that was the reason that we created this space, is like here, because it's just an extension of our crib. We can only house but so many people at our house, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know that. You
And I
see
remember
how
y'all
it's,
was talking about trying to have like a house gathering food party situation.
yeah.
It's dope to see that this is what that's evolved into.
No, for sure, because it's like, all right, there's only but so, like I said, it was only but so many people we could accommodate. So
Yeah.
like, but this is like what we do every day. So we have to figure out like, all right, how do we make this like something sustainable that people can actually tap into and have access to and feel a part and be a part of this community on both ends of the spectrum. So we literally opening this space around the corner from the same couch that you was on. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nice.
it's in our same neighborhood, grew up here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Gavin. Yes, this is the Flatbush is a food desert. Like Boris and I, we had to walk like 7, 8 blocks just to get vegetables, like cooked vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Like you can easily get some cabbage, steamed out cabbage, but like some good cooked vegetables, you're not finding that nowhere. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Misha? So we just trying to fill up that void. That's another important part of business. To me, it's always been to fill up a void. It's one thing to peek into your interest, to tap into your interest, but to be a sustainable business, you got to actually fill a void, especially if you come in with a brick and mortar space. It has to fulfill a void within that community.
Yeah. So like as you guys are talking about the space that you guys are creating, you know, I can't help but to think back to the civil rights movement, and like there's like this very infamous soul food restaurant in Atlanta called Pascal's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Pascal's was, if anyone, for those of you guys who don't know, was a restaurant where, you know, obviously it was black owned, but on top of that, it was a hub for civil rights leaders to come and not just eat, but then also to organize and have meetings, you know. And so like there is this, you know, relationship between food and struggle and spaces where people are able to come and develop things. Like how do you see your guys's restaurant being a space for the community to almost continue on in that tradition?
I mean, we saw that that's part of the actual plan because, like, if you remember, if you followed the Indiegogo, if anybody followed the Indiegogo, like part of the whole situation, the whole campaign is making it in, right? So a lot of people try to like, if you born in the hood, which is a mental space, not a physical space. You know what I'm saying? If you're born in the hood, your goal is to get out of the hood, like make it out of the hood. We try to figure out a way to make it in the hood, like be here, make it happen, fulfill all your dreams and your goals here in the same neighborhood. Because what happens is a lot of times, like we like the neighborhoods that a lot of people grew up in are gems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And beautiful spaces, like Flatbush is a beautiful neighborhood.
It is,
but
man.
with the wrong mentality, if you fulfill the wrong mentality with enough people, you create a bad neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But the physical aspects of the neighborhood is still beautiful. The tree line blocks, you know what I mean, things of that nature. So you're like, and the beautiful architecture. So you're like, wait, what is it? So it's really the mentality and the people that make it not want to be livable. You know what I mean? And that's why people try to move out to, like, you know, Jersey and Texas and things of that nature. And it's just like, okay, cool, but what are you going into? Because then now you're gonna have to create a whole new neighborhood, a whole new community where you're going into or tap into one that exists to be parallel to your state of mind. You know what I mean? So for us, creating this space, it's like it definitely is an ongoing thing. We have programming set up for these type of conversations, financial literacy talks, you know, health and wellness talks, things of that nature. Like those are very important aspects to the community that we feel like we have to provide to them. You know, like how you should be eating, how you should be living, what kind of media you should be consuming, what kind of books, and you know what I mean, food and things of that nature. Like how you should be literally living. You know what I mean?
Bro, like one of the things that I feel just like personally so blessed and fortunate to have you within my friend space, you know, like because a lot what you're talking about is like a lot of stuff that, you know, I personally embody. I know like my partner Chef and Chris do as well. And you know, like the idea of like, first of all, no one wants to live like in a war zone. No one wants that. No one wants to live like in an area where, it's not comfortable to just be around and be outside, you know, and just purely off of our age, like all of us, you know, grew up through that crack era. You know what I'm saying? Either smack dead in the middle of it, or we were coming in, we were born like and experienced like the after effects of that, you know.
Hmm.
And I think for a lot of people, you know, specifically Black people in America, regardless on what your ethnic bend is, you know, there's been like this enticement of the American dream to like, yo, like let me leave the neighborhood. I'm gonna go and get mine, but I want to get up out of here, you know.
Yeah.
And then on one hand, it's like you can't blame people because on like you want to start a family, you want stuff to be safe. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to have the same your kids have the same experience that you had. You just want to survive if nothing else. But then on
Correct.
the other side of that coin, it's like, man, like if I'm leaving, one, where am I actually going? What am I going into? And then two, like who am I leaving behind? Like when at what point do we start caring about the environments that we grew up in and the people who didn't have the same options and opportunities as us? Like when are we starting to bring some of that rich value that we were able to go and get by going off to college or getting whatever job and actually start building up the neighborhoods? And this conversation isn't something it's not a new thing. You know what I'm
Nah.
saying? Like we've been talking like Black people in America have been talking about this for decades at this point. You know what I'm saying? And so like the fact that I know that you and Nick, if y'all wanted to move out of Brooklyn and out of Flatbush and out of, and you guys have been there even before the whole gentrifying thing started happening. If
Word.
y'all wanted to bounce, y'all could. You could be in Miami right now. You could go somewhere else, man. But the fact
Did
that
that
you
already.
decided to stay, man, and continue to help shape and develop your community, and for people who look like you, bro, like that is beyond amazing, man. And so like
Appreciate that.
that that's like one of the motivation things that has me still here in Atlanta, and at some point has me, you know, wanting to go back to LA from the neighborhoods that I'm from, you know, to do that, to help develop those same things, man. I just felt it was important for me to like to give you those flowers, bro, because what you
Thank
and
you.
Nick are doing is beautiful, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. Nah, I mean, I appreciate it, and it's true, bro. It's just like, um, it, don't get me wrong. Like, I went away to college, and I stayed
Yeah,
out. You know, I went to Florida. Stayed out there for like 7, 8 years. Lived in like gated communities and things of that nature. But then it was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, my my rims are still being stolen. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it's still, this is like supposed to be this beautiful situation, but it's just like, nah, hold on, you gotta take it back because, like you said, who you leaving behind? You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like, I feel like I had a whole tribe I left behind, and I'm just out there on my own. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me
yeah,
wrong, I grew a whole new tribe out there. You know what I'm saying? And thank God, like half of us is out here now, so it's just like we doing our thing. But at that time, I felt like, yo, damn, I just felt like everything was still in New York. My whole life was still in New
yeah,
York. So it's just like, gotta figure out a way to make it happen here, bro. Because it's like trying to just create, like build these things. I don't know. It was just, to me, it has more, for me, it had more value to do what I'm doing here right now.
yeah. And bro, like, and I'm with that because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's not wrong if a person decides, like, yo, I'm gonna go to this other place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I firmly
Not,
believe that
not at all.
you have to be very clear on where God is directing you. You know what I'm saying? And for some people, it is gonna be like some people have to go away for a period of time. Some people like they need to go away permanently, but they need to plant roots and start developing something in another space. What is not acceptable is not doing anything at all.
No,
You know what
for
I'm saying?
sure.
What's not accepted is latching onto this falsehood of an American dream that separates, you know, you from the people that you should actually be pouring into and helping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Because,
again, like just going back to Jesus, man. Like you see Jesus like standing with the disenfranchised, standing with the oppressed, standing with the people who the government and society has outcasted. Like financially, but also literally pushing people out, causing
hmm
all kind of mental and physical damage to their bodies. Like if we are not like placing ourselves with those people, like playing ourselves, like we're just as much as the problem. And so
totally.
again, like I'm just, and that's like one of the common threads that's been here. you know, and within study breaks with every person that we've been talking to is like this sense of responsibility to be there for our people. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't
Correct.
mean that, you know, other people can't participate, but niggas have been forgot about for a long time.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And if we're not taking the initiative to continue to pour into to ourselves and to people who look like us, man, like we playing ourselves. Like all this is legit is for naught.
Correct. I agree. Totally. Living proof. I agree 100%, Blair. 100%.
Man, so we have a couple questions that popped up, man. Oh, nah, those weren't questions. Those are just chance. All right. Yeah, if there are any questions that you guys have, man, go ahead and drop them in. We definitely want to, you know, be able to speak to those as we're kind of wrapping things up. Yeah,
Not
like
no
14
doubt,
minutes left.
but hold on. But Blair, like I want you to talk to, because the cool thing about live is like I get to tap into your network and you get to tap into my network. So there's a lot of people in my network aside
Yeah.
from the the Brown brothers
Yeah, the
that
homies.
don't know you. You know what I mean? And what you doing and what you do. So I would like you to speak on that. You know what I'm saying? Like you have the honor roll clothing and you have you have a lot to share. So I would like you to kind of like speak on
Yeah.
that.
No, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, so Honor Roll Clothing, we've been around for 10 years. We're based in Atlanta. Started out, you know, pretty much like everyone else in streetwear, you know, shout out to the Brown brothers. They owe me some rice and peas today. I hope y'all niggas cooking up. But nah, yeah, man, we started out doing t-shirts. Myself, my partner Chef and Chris. Shout out to Alex. She's been rocking with us for a minute. And yeah, we grown from doing just screen print to doing full cut and sew. For us, you know, we're very proud to say like that we're a made in Atlanta brand, which means like not only do we develop the product internally, but as far as production is concerned, like we do all of our production within the city. Yeah, appreciate that, man. That was a hard thing because at first we were doing some production in LA. Then we moved some of our production out to Brooklyn. There was a small factory out there that was doing some work for us. But it mattered. I mean, and I know you know this as much as I do. Being able to be in close proximity to the product that's being developed is important.
Yep.
Being able to cut on shipping costs because niggas get killed with shipping. You know what I'm saying? Like that's important.
Facts.
And like one of the things I think is really dope, the factory that I work with, while it's a middle-aged white lady who just started making uniforms for high schools and the school systems, like she was able to turn that into like being able to develop a full production house, you know, for brands like mine. And what's so dope is like we have a huge refugee community here, and so like all of her sewers, all of her all the people that work in the factory, like first of all, it's a very dope factory. Like it ain't no sweatshop at all. But like she pays like aggressively living wages to where before like people came here with no skills and no opportunity to develop anything, like she brings them in, helps to train them, and like they're able like to buy homes for their family. You know what I mean? And
Fire.
so yeah,
Fire.
man. So like for us, like everything down from the ideology of the brand and the concepts of it to how we produce our product, like all of it is keeping the people in mind. You know, yeah, man. So for myself personally, like I mean, I handle design and everything over this production. Where is this? If you're asking where is honorrollshop.com, if you're asking where the factory is, if it's out here in Atlanta, you could DM us, Mr. Anderson, to you. Yeah, and we could chop it up, see what you got going on. We can help you definitely down. A couple things, other things we do with the brand, and this was an initiative by Chris, one of the other owners who's over marketing. We've been doing well, prior to COVID, we were doing a monthly panel discussion where we were bringing in guys like you to talk about specific aspects of the business. So the panel is called Closed Minded, and it was just a business panel where we were giving away a lot of free game to people before, you know, the whole city shut down. So yeah, man, like that's what we've been on, and like right now we're really focused on just continuing to develop the product, but then also content is important. So conversations like we're having right now,
Correct.
but then also editorial work that we're doing where we're speaking on, you know, issues that are taking place. So like obviously we just actually posted our first editorial because of everything that was going on. So if you go to our page at Honor Roll Clothing on to the page at Honor Roll Clothing, you'll be able to see like the first editorial that we wrote, kind of addressing like as a brand how we feel about all this. And I know that yeah, like for you, like you like nigga, I ain't making no statements, nigga. I am the statement. You know what I'm saying? And so like like we hold that tension, you know what I'm saying? But we also want to make sure that we're giving people who are following us like good insights and perspectives in a very structured form through writing. Because I think that's super important, you know,
Very.
that we take serious the discipline of being able to articulate ourselves clearly and what our positions are and how we feeling.
Very important. So similar to like, I don't know if you remember like the last collection we were shipping out the like those paper newspapers within every order, and just because that's like our way to kind of like get back to, you know, even like the way folks were moving out in the 60s and the 70s, just with these newsletters like internally. So like I felt like
that's dope. Are y'all still doing that?
What I'm already working on the next one, because I'm already designing the next collection, is I feel like I'm, you know me, I don't design to like the seasons, you know what I'm saying? I just design for reasons. So like right now is more of a reason than anything. So I'm just been kind of like collecting this information and you know, journaling and everything, and it's gonna put it out beautifully. It's gonna come out, you know, all together in unison. But I figure like that was a way for us to communicate, you know, because usually when you see somebody, like especially when you see somebody and it doesn't even matter, you like, oh, like you on that brainwave, you know what's going on.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So I feel like, all right, there should be an extension to that, something also physical that you can read and share. You know what I'm saying? Share those ideologies. You know what I mean? With your fellow neighbor and friends and family, to take them a little bit deeper than just the article of clothing. Because I found like the article of clothing is like just the artifact. It's just that kind of like the gift shop kind of vibe. Like I feel like the message that the brand embodies is the show. You know what I mean? And that's like the token, the souvenir that you get, so to say. You know what I mean?
That's dope, man. That's dope. When is that collection looking to come out?
I mean, I would like to have dropped it for my birthday, around my birthday, but hopefully we could rock out in like the next month. Only because like a lot of like my some of my factories they're already back in action, and some of them aren't. So it's just about just the whole flow, everybody getting back on track to everything coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Yeah. There's been some new pieces. Like we're in production right now. Like when COVID happened, like we had to press pause on everything to kind of see what was going to be what.
Right.
But now like we're back. Like we just started production for our next release last week. And there's maybe some new pieces that, in light of, you know, the uprising and rebellion and rioting that's been happening, you know, where we may be adding some more provocative pieces to the joint, man. But
have to shake shit up, bro.
Yeah, man. And honestly, I didn't realize that was like, I remember seeing the newspaper, but I didn't think much. I didn't connect the dots to what it was that you were talking about, man. And so, you know, I definitely look forward, you know, in the future, man, to figure out, you know, the ways that, you know, we're gonna be able to work with each other. Because it definitely seems like niggas I mean, I've always known we've been on the same time, but I think definitely having this conversation is like, oh, like niggas is more in sync than I think I realized.
Oh man, for sure. No, 100%. 100%. And the thing about it is, like I said before, like we're gonna figure whether it's an actual product or it's an event.
Absolutely.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Like something like, it's not to be forced, and it'll all happen within time, within reason, and
that's
purpose. You know what I mean? But I'm excited nonetheless, and I know you're not going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. God willing, God's spare life, so we'll make it happen.
Nah. Yo, so when is Aunties and Uncles supposed to open up?
I mean, it's a little tricky because like we have to wait and for the city to fully open back up to get, you know, the proper permitting and licensing and everything like that.
Okay.
For once the build out is done, but we should be done with this, like at least the construction in a couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just a matter of like the city being able to, like, you know, approve everything to fully operate. But we're gonna give like a sneak peek walkthrough soon. You see a little
Nice.
some details right here, so you know it's not a game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's
We're not
what's
even
up.
playing. This is just the bathroom. So yeah.
Yo, what's the IG handle for the restaurant for Aunties and Uncles?
It's AUNTSETUNCLES. Aunts et uncles.
All right.
I can type it in too. One
Dope.
second.
Dope. And what's also I'm also typing the handle for DM.
All right.
You know, and everyone that's on here right now, man, like if you're not, regardless on, you know, if you came for Honor Roll, if you came for Mike, yeah, y'all go and follow both of us, man. Follow all the brands that we're doing, man. It is so important to make sure that we're supporting one another. You know, and the dope thing about it is, like, we ain't no, neither one of us is putting out anything that's of low quality. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you rocking with DM or you rocking with Honor Roll, like you're getting like some high quality product.
Indeed.
You know, and so yeah, man, we appreciate the love and support from you guys. Mike, man, this is dope, bro. I
Always.
definitely look forward to seeing, man, like just how the restaurant continues to build out. Like I will be there ASAP. ASAP.
Definitely. Appreciate you, bro. Love, man.
Nah, man, give Nick my love, man. Love you guys and the boys, man. Y'all be cool, man. Be safe out there, bro.
Got it. Peace.
All right.